Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Pisces December 9, 2022. Today can have its ups and downs, but it's also an important time for finally dealing with problem areas in your life. The full moon occurs in your communications sector and aligns with retrograde Mars. Disorder in your daily affairs and with communications and transportation can be disruptive. It might prompt you to make important changes and improvements. Leave assessments open-ended and avoid conclusions for best results. Watch for impatience in the face of slowdowns. It can be all too easy to get worked up over minor issues, and others may be argumentative or otherwise disagreeable. You may even get in your own way today. Consider that you may be chasing a desire that isn't true, and that feeling torn between playing things safe and going out on a limb can disguise your genuine needs. Minor issues can be the trigger, but major issues may be at the root. Watch for speaking too quickly about a matter now. Stay true to your inner code, and try not to get carried away, as misrepresentation is possible now. Also, there can be a lot of rumors flying around now, and it would be wise to avoid taking all of them to heart. Remember the adage, haste makes waste. A festive and fun full moon arrives today. It will ignite your solar third house of ideas and communication, encouraging you to step up to the microphone in regard to your relationships and speak up. This could also propel you to take a spontaneous last-minute trip to a nearby destination with your one and only, perhaps even to see a sibling. Consider staying high in a skyscraper or somewhere where you can watch the clouds. This would energize both of your spirits and fan the flames of your love. Capture this magic on every level. Reflect on the last 6 months. There has been an editorial shift in your communication skills, commute, and immediate work community during this period. You may have refined your writing and speaking capabilities, which may have improved your performance at work. Getting to and from work may have been more of an experiment during this time, too. Plus, your bonds with your colleagues could have shifted in surprising ways. As the full moon in Gemini closes this cycle, think about what you can take away from it to apply to your work life moving forward. When the moon wrapped up its last visit to your income sector for the year yesterday, it did more than leave you with a sharp nose for money, though the timing couldn't have been better. In his first full day in your career sector, Mercury has returned to bring this professional year home, only to find the stars already aligned on the job and career front, and thanks to the moon, a sense of where the money is and a new sense of confidence. There is a skip in your step today. You have felt the struggle of the last few days, and it is a relief to relax and reflect on what you learned. You have brought the life of the body into focus, and you may want to open up to something new as a compliment. Aromatherapy is an ancient and subtle practice. Many alternative markets carry aromatherapy materials. The essences of nasturtium, iris, and tansy can help you break through fixed attitudes and behavior patterns. Taking some quiet reflection time may be just what you need. The essence of this day fosters an introspective and spiritual time, allowing you the opportunity to process the changes and decisions in your life. At times things can happen so fast that you don't get the chance to think or feel things through. This can be especially so when it comes to life-changing experiences. Give yourself a little room for just such contemplation. If you keep a journal, this is the perfect time for this activity. The last full moon of 2022 falls in your communication sector today, and thanks to Mars it is also one of the most powerful of the year. Pressure between the sun and moon can give this full moon the power to push through communication barriers while making it easier to give your emotional responses a voice. However, Mars is not only here for the first time during this annual full moon in 32 years, but aligned with the moon as it peaks. This is going to add fuel to his war on communication barriers, creating the very real potential for a breakthrough. What gives today's full moon in your communication sector a lot more potency is having Mars here, with his war on communication barriers getting a massive boost. With Mars in retrograde motion, this will not only make it easier to give your emotional responses a voice, but the past and unsaid words as well. With the dwarf planet Ceres just 11 days away from your relationship sector, the timing couldn't be better. Our eyes in the sky. The full moon in Gemini is helping us find solutions to our problems right now, but we could have issues figuring out how to make things click. Good ideas could clash with confusion, creating frustration and irritation. Try not to be overly critical of others or yourself right now, and try to avoid giving any unsolicited advice. In the afternoon, your inner perfectionist could come out, and not in the best way. Remember to take things slowly and focus on your breath if you begin to feel overwhelmed by details. There is a need to be aware that today's full moon in your financial sector could come with some financial tension, and some of your emotional responses might be out of proportion. Behind the emotional fog of war is a clash between the moon and Mercury in your financial sector and the sun in your income sector, and the chance this brings to energize both sides of the financial fence. There are many aspects that need to be faced in order to successfully navigate this evening's cosmic climate. Themes around your goals and fantasies, self-awareness, critical thinking, and organization all commingle. The moon is not only still in your financial sector after yesterday's full moon, but there could be just as much tension between both sides of the financial fence. While the moon is no longer clashed with the sun, before leaving it will clash with Venus, in her last full day in your income sector. At the same time that Mars is using this to fuel your financial passions and fighting spirit, as the planet of money, Venus knows how to turn financial tension into motivation. When Mars retrograde opposes the Sun, the universe is asking you to meld your dreams with reality in a way that is well thought out and pragmatic. The energy here gives us a rare opportunity to see where change needs to be implemented, but you must overcome your ego in order to see the path ahead. Don't let stubborn ways of thinking or arrogance stop you from seeing your way. In the pre-dawn hours, Ceres in Virgo squares off with Venus in Sagittarius, creating tension between how we give and receive love. Our upbringing or early life conditioning may have taught us that the best way to nurture others is by cleaning up their messes. Our parents might have sought to organize our lives as a mode of care. Equally, they may have been disposed to fault-finding, subtly critiquing our choices and suggesting how to better ourselves. Yet, the love we want to receive is quite different. We want our loved ones to trust us, granting us freedom of movement and allowing us space to make mistakes and learn from them. Today's Ceres-Venus square can cause us to police our partners, with good intentions. Having grown accustomed to subtle criticism, it feels safe to us. However, to tackle this dynamic, we must release the compulsion to offer unsolicited advice. We must let our partners be the messy, unpredictable people we fell for in the first place. We are not our partner's parents, and we shouldn't try to be. Professionally, you've everything going for you. If you encounter something unexpected, refrain from making any hasty decisions. Actually, what is needed is calmness and patience. Separate the important from the unimportant. Bring about an adequate solution. Maybe consider a more unconventional approach. Around dawn, the Sagittarius Sun squares off with Juno in Pisces, further exacerbating relational tensions. Our very sense of self seems to be at odds with who we present ourselves to be in committed partnerships. Indeed, we might have agreed to be in a relationship when we were an entirely different person, and we have grown in a direction that is contrary to the vows we made to another. We now have a choice to make. Do we stick it out, clearly address the disconnect, and commit to changing our contract to suit both our own and our partner's needs? Or do we decide to explore our own path? This is not necessarily an aspect of breakups, but it portends a reckoning that necessitates changes within a static partnership dynamic.